It's a Tuesday night, and Chris is doing the thing again, lying on the couch, scrolling with one thumb, half watching a show he isn't really watching. Then he taps that app. You know the one with everyone's highlight reel. A guy he went to high school with just bought a house. Another just retired at 35. And Chris feels that little drop in his stomach, the one that says, I'm behind. He locks the phone, stares at the ceiling, does the quiet, late-night money math. Rent, car, groceries, a little fun. Somehow the month always ends at zero. He's 34. Good job, rent's paid. But his savings account? Basically a rounding error. It's not that he's reckless. He's just never made it a real deliberate plan. If that Tuesday night feeling lives in your stomach too, you're in the right place. Because here's the good news and the bad news about your 30s. The bad news? The clock is genuinely ticking, and most people your age are behind too. The good news? Your 30s might be the single most powerful decade to fix it. I've watched this exact story play out hundreds of times. Let me show you Chris's two futures. First, let's be honest about where Chris actually stands today. According to the Federal Reserve's Survey of Consumer Finances, the median net worth under 35 is only about $39,000. And a big chunk of people that age, their number is basically zero or below it. Chris isn't unusual. He's textbook average. And that's oddly comforting, in a way. Half the people his age are lying on their own couch, feeling the exact same thing tonight. Because being average at 34 isn't the problem. Staying on autopilot is. Here's what most people don't feel in their gut. Your 30s are your compounding decade. Every dollar you invest now has 30 plus years to grow before you retire. A dollar invested at 30 is worth far more at retirement than a dollar invested at 40. Not a little more, dramatically more. And that gap is the whole story today. If you're already feeling this one, do me a quick favor. Subscribe, like, and share it with a friend who's also lying on their couch tonight. It genuinely helps more 30-somethings find this before another year quietly slips by. So let's actually run Chris's two futures. Same guy, same salary. One decision different. Future 1. Chris keeps scrolling. He tells himself he'll start investing next year. Next year becomes the year after. Life is busy. The couch is comfortable. Future 2. Tonight, Chris puts the phone down and opens a boring investment account instead. Not exciting, no fireworks, just a few clicks and a small automatic transfer. Let's say he sets aside $500 a month, roughly the cost of eating out a lot. Not cutting every joy, just redirecting the mindless spending he wouldn't even miss. That's an amount a lot of people your age genuinely could redirect if they chose to. Now here's where it gets almost unfair. Watch what time does to that 500. Historically, a broad stock index has returned around 7% a year over the long run. Nothing is guaranteed, and markets bounce around wildly year to year. But over decades, it compounds. If Chris invests $500 a month, starting at 34 until 65, at that historical 7%, he lands somewhere around $900,000. Here's the part that breaks people's brains. He only put in about $210,000. The other roughly $700,000? That's growth. Money his money quietly made while he slept. Chris does the math twice. Sure, he got it wrong the first time. That's the magic of your 30s. Time does most of the heavy lifting for you. Now watch what happens if Chris waits just 10 years and starts at 40 instead. Same $500 a month, same 7%. He now retires with around $400,000. 10 years of waiting cost him nearly $500,000. The waiting didn't feel expensive. That's exactly what makes it so dangerous. He only skipped about $60,000 in contributions, but he lost almost $500,000 in the end. That's not a typo, that's compounding. The earlier snowball just had more hill to roll down. So how does Chris actually pull this off without becoming a spreadsheet monk? 3 simple lenses. Lens 1. Automate it so your future doesn't depend on your willpower. Chris sets one automatic transfer the day after payday. The money moves before he can touch it. Willpower fails on a bad Tuesday. A system doesn't even ask how your day went. Chris automates it once, then basically forgets it exists. That's the whole point. Lens 2. Invest in something boring and broad. Not the hot tip your cousin texted you. A low-cost index fund quietly owns hundreds of companies at once. Boring is the point. Chris doesn't have to pick winners. He just has to own the whole game and wait. No checking the app at midnight. No panic selling on a scary red day. Lens 3. The counterintuitive one. Protect the boring more than you chase the exciting. Chasing the exciting is how people your age lose the money that should have compounded quietly. Build the boring base first. Then, if you want, gamble with a tiny slice on top. Chris keeps the fun money small enough that losing it wouldn't change his life at all. Now, you might be thinking, what if I'm already 38 or 41? Did I miss it? No. The best time was your 20s. The second best time is the moment this video ends. Chris can't change the last 10 years, but he fully owns the next 30. A smaller snowball started today still beats the perfect plan you start in 5 years. Let's zoom back out to that Tuesday night and Chris's two futures one more time. In future 1, at 65, Chris is still doing math on what he can't afford. In future 2, at 65, that boring little transfer quietly became his freedom. Same man, same salary. The only real difference was a decision made on an ordinary night. Now, I can't predict the markets, and this isn't a promise about any exact number. The specific dollars will move. But the lesson underneath doesn't change at all. You're not behind because of one lazy Tuesday. You're behind only if every Tuesday looks the same. Your 30s aren't the decade you missed the boat. They're the decade you can still catch it. The couch will always be there. So will the app. The compounding clock won't wait though. Every year he waits, that snowball has one less hill to roll down. This is for educational purposes only and isn't financial advice. So here's my one favor. Tonight, don't just close the app and roll over. Set up one boring automatic transfer. Future you will remember this exact night. If Chris's story hit a little too close, subscribe and stick around. This channel is built for you. And tell me in the comments, what's the one money move you keep putting off? Let's hear it. Put the phone down, plant the seed tonight. I'll see you in the next one.